Lipstick, lipstick.
Complete the ritual and be made complete.
Right. Yeah, so they aggressively push this wave, and now they're gonna look for the bridge buff timers. So they're slowly making their way over, and they're trying to zone them off so they can't shoot them off the platform or the zipline. But because of that, he decides to take this route, and he notices that his pocket and warden were fighting, so he decides to help them. This is a really good roam. So they used the bridge buff timer for the roam. That was really nice.
Just gotta remember to pick up all my limbs before rejoining the fight.
Charge is on cooldown.
Alright. That was pretty cool. If in case you guys didn't hear it, they'll probably comment this in comms as well. But the Abrams pings that he doesn't have charge in case he gets flooded in comms. And Lystic was coming over looking for the roam, but he can't do that without the Abrams setup of charge. So because of that, they just call it off and he goes back to lane. Just continues block farming. That's pretty cool.
Let's take out
Something small, but sometimes the small gestures help. Especially if your team's paying attention to pings.
Let's take out McGinnis.
That's also really cool. He knows that the barrel area, the Guardian can't target him, so he's just playing aggressively there and looking up to the Great Talon, so he avoids taking the Guardian damage. That was good.
I'll do whatever it takes.
He pushes out the wave, he puts some like pressure on the Great Talon, and now he's farming. He's keeping his game plan simple. Just play for the farm. Get fed.
They don't know what resolve really looks like.
When the wave meets up again, he comes back to the wave and pushes it out again.
Contain it any longer. Need to leave it all out there. They can't last forever.
I see the enemy.
Nice. I love this. So the Sinclair stole Great Talon Bird. And this is exactly what happened in the Cosmetical VOD that we did. Where Cosmetical would bird early to just get the stun off rather than like anything else. And then they use that to dive and get the kill on the Great Talon with the stun. And now the Sinclair gets a +10 on that, I believe. But he can also afford to do this because of Shocking Reanimation.
I live again.
Really good movement to get out. Really good movement. Nice. Yeah, literally, and that's why movement is so important. That right there just shows you why it's so good. He wouldn't have gotten out otherwise. He was able to keep his momentum even on low stamina and used it to get out. That was nice. Victor also applies it really well from what I understand. Yeah, 5 bullets, not bad.
I see there's the old man.
That's cool. So, right there is, instead of trying to push the, Arzo back in, the Viscous uses the punch to make the Predator parry, which is essentially just a momentum killer in the moment. So because of that, he has to stop himself, and that pretty much guarantees the kill. That was really cool from Break. And this is very reminiscent of the Zergy VOD. He knows he's playing weak side. He also doesn't have ulti. He's low HP. He's just taking it easy. He's just playing safe. He's probably gonna go look to reset, because by the time he resets and comes back, the wave will have collapsed. But he's playing safe. He's just collecting the boxes in the back. But I mean, I'm curious as to why he was saving up for something.
I see the enemy.
As you just saw, the wave he reset, the wave crashed right as Walker the moment he got there. So he understands his timings or his wave timings, which is really cool. Which is really nice.
I see McGinnis.
Wonder what I can get now.
I like that a lot. So instead of rushing straight to shot, the reason why he didn't do that is because he doesn't know what's there. He also doesn't want to take any risks without his ultimate. So he's just playing really safe for the time being, and then he's just going back to base in order to get his buy rather than just taking a risk and pushing it to shop where he's very vulnerable without knowing where anyone is on the map. He straight up buys metal skin. Ah, that's why. So the reason why he buys metal skin here is because the McGinnis is going full gun, the Venator's gun, and the Great Talon currently has a lot of gun. And not only that, Tass is also going gun. So it's straight up just a full tempo buy of denying 5 people on their team because they're all going gun
I see
at the
shit.
current point of the game.
Headed to yellow.
Nice.
Let's take up. I see Bebop.
You think you're winning?
That was really good. So it was something small, but he realizes that the pocket's going back for the wave, so he comes in to join. And then with that, he chases down the McGinnis, but he doesn't instantly pop his metal skin right away. So until he knows that he has the attention of the enemy. So he's not just gonna pop it like just because he's in the middle of the fight. He pops it because he knows he's going to be getting looked at. And because that, he avoids a lot of damage from the McGinnis over like altogether. That was a bit of desperation from Arzo, but it's a good kill. And they'll probably use that kill to look for the pressure on the Guardian. And he doesn't need to be playing scared, because even though he's without his ultimate, he has his teammates on him. And they also want this pressure because of Earn. Nice. That was just overzealous by Saint. There's no reason for him to be doing that alone, even with a wall. But still, that's really good recognition, knowing that he's just able to do that. That he can just go up and contest the urn. He doesn't need to be scared. He has his team around him. There's also really good timing
I see the enemy.
with the urn, so he's just gonna run. He's literally just gonna run onto the urn deposit. I don't think he's gonna play too scared. He might slow it down a little bit, but he has his ultimate, so he knows he can buy out a lot of time.
Let's take out Jim. I see the enemy. Nice work.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Did he die right before he had his ultimate?
Let's take out Jim.
Wait. What? What? He has his ult. And he
Nice
just...
work.
He... Is that a bug? I don't think that's a replay bug.
Let's take out McGinnis.
Either way, it was still the right idea. He had his ult and he looked to die on top of the walker, or on top of the urn, to deny them from being able to do anything. And that's why Victor's so strong right now. He just plays those objectives so well. Because he can just kind of sit on them. Nice, good kill.
Took out great talent.
Even though he loses the walker, it was going to die regardless because Arzo got it low previously. But this is what I said in the previous VOD as well. They did a little bit of chip, and it causes a lot more pressure than you think, and it brought one person over instead of just giving it up. So, Warpstone's always good. On Victor just to like stay on someone, and then he gets his gun spike.
Forgetting how much that stings.
I see the enemy.
The moment bridge bells come up,
The enemy.
is there. That was really nice. He looked away to avoid getting parried. I was able to avoid it. Because of his items, he's able to stay on them. Nice. And they just get the bridge buff for free. Alongside a kill on the opponent's carry, which is really, really big. And because of this, they're just able to stay invading and steal all their jungle. But notice how what they're doing right now is instead of just going back to their own jungle, they're stealing the opponent's jungle before taking their own. And that's just the life of a support player. If you're a support player, just setting up the vendings for your team and then that as like a way to get your own money. But the most important thing is you want the buffs on your carries. So Obicam set up the Sinners for the Victor, and then the Victor just came in and took the last punch. Same thing for this one too. So Victor was able to get 3 Sinners. 12 buffs in total. From all the Sinners that Obicam helped him set up. And in just in that like minute sequence, he already got 14 buffs. And they scale throughout the game. And you could definitely assume that this is what happened in the Billy game that he had, where he had like 80 buffs at the end of the game.
Come back if you need anything else.
And he just plans to go full tank. Just so we can create the space.
I see great talent.
But yeah, Urn's coming up in the next minute. They're kind of just playing around mid and trying to keep mid prio for the Urn. Yep. So every time he has the wave slightly pushed, he looks over towards the objective, and the next objective is Urn. And it's spawning on green lane.
Headed to Greenwich.
So yeah. So they're hovering Zergy. Zergy's able to get the Urn. And what's cool is they know it's a comeback Urn because it's a 10k difference at second Urn, so it's a 10%. So they know it's going to spawn on the other side, and they're playing for it. So what they're trying to do here is contest it and take it away from them so that 1, they don't get the resistances, or the Urn carry doesn't get the resistances. And 2, so that they can dictate the pace of the game for the next like upcoming moments. So this way they could have maybe like Zergy and someone else like split push the walker on the side while threatening to turn in the Urn.
I see McGinnis. Fancy hairs over here.
And this is very, very similar to what something I spoke about in another one of my videos, where right now what's happening is they're fighting this, but they're keeping them busy. Even though they're like kind of winning, it's kind of like on the edge, but they've created an advantage on the other side of the map because they were able to like grab the urn. So now with this, they're going to look to deposit and fight the Venator on a 2-on-1. And they should definitely be able to take it.
Our green walker is under attack.
This is also just a great collapse from the enemy team. They end up losing it, so they end up fumbling it a little bit, but the idea was there. They just weren't able to hold on to the attention of the people that were there long enough.
Let's take out Great Tower.
You're making me do this.
Let's go yellow.
That was a little questionable, I won't lie. But he looks down blue to help get the prio. They got a pick. They got 2 kills, and they're looking for mid boss. He's just getting the blue prio before joining his team at mid.
They're in mid.
The rejuvenator is descending.
Nice. I don't know if it was coordinated or not, but Lystic was able to get the first buff, which heals him to full.
Our green walker is under attack.
And now for the time being, what's going to happen is they're just going to look to farm every bit of jungle they can, and then look to fight to push down the walkers. And you can kind of see that the enemy team is also looking to scramble and get their own jungle, because otherwise, Loki W is just going to invade and try and get it themselves.
They can hurt me. I'll hurt them right back. Good luck not getting shot.
The debuff remover makes sense. You're going to a Shiv. You're also going into like people who disable your stamina, slow it, and then there's also a lot of anti-heal flying around. So he wants a debuff remover so he can actually like stay alive a little bit longer. Plus a little bit of spirit resist that it gives helps him a decent amount into the Great Talon and the Shiv.
I see Great Talon.
A little spooky, but now that he has the blue prio, he's able to look over to the left lane or the right lane, depending on what his team wants to do. And just look to push down the walker with the rejuve. But in this case, they're just taking it slow. They don't have a reason to rush it. So they decide they're going to play for this right walker. And they're going to look to fight under it, probably, with the rejuves.
Not looking.
Let's take out Bebop. Great Talon. Let's take out.
But he's not afraid to go into the walker because he's also going to be able to stun the walker.
Let's push Greenwich. But first, I'll take yours. I see Shiv. Don't let me.
But yeah, so what happened there is his initial goal was to zone off the enemy team so that his team could freely take the walker. But because the enemy team was pushing under their walker to help fight it, he wasn't able to do that, but he tried. And then, because of Loki W was forced to take the fight before taking the walker.
I'll hook you.
And then now that the fight has somewhat dissipated, they're able to just take the walker.
I see McGinnis.
He's also probably doing this so he can take the TP to go for his next buy.
You'll be the last one standing.
That's counterspell. He's going to be the main focus in a lot of these situations, so it's never a bad item. But yeah, like this is all premeditated. Lystic backed off, took the camp, went and bought, and this was all right before he understood that the timer was coming up for urn. And he's just going to grab the urn, so then they're going to try and fight it using the last two rejuves. And this is a fight that Abrahams will want to take. Because they're going to try and time it well with the rejuve ending. So Loki W is going to try and rush this as much as they can.
Death brings consequences once more.
So what's happening here is because they don't have rejuve anymore, they don't want to deposit the urn and give the enemy team the resistances for the turn-in. So they're taking the fight early and making it so it's more difficult for them.
Let's take out Shiv.
And now that they've zoned the Shiv off, they're gonna look to deposit it. So now that they have the advantage in this situation, this is really well played.
I see McGinnis.
Yeah. So the moment they recognize that they're coming back into the fight, he drops it to make it so they can't turn it in, and then let's take it early again.
Let's take out Great Talon. I see Great Talon.
And because of that, they're able to kill 3, and now they can turn and collect the urn themselves. They don't care if this goes in because they're just going to grab the last walker or whatever and just steal a bunch of jungle. But they're still fighting for it.
I see Diva.
And nice parries. And this is also part of the reason why he bought Counterspell. Is so he's able to do this. And now this game is pretty much just over. They're so far ahead, they just got earned. They're 30k up at 25 minutes. And then knowing Abrahams, they probably mental boomed and they'd probably just take a fight here and lose the fight in their base.
Let's push green.
They only have one shrine left.
But they're gonna get desperate.
Let's push yellow.
They're gonna get desperate, so they're gonna be fighting it. Because the game is pretty much already lost.
Let's push yellow.
Yeah. You see the go next from together? Yeah. Very, very clean game. Sometimes simple is just better.